Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Pulse. Today we pick up where we left off in our discussion about the things we didn't learn in school that we wished we were taught. Our spotlight this week is on homework and why parents shouldn't have to play the role of teacher. We also dip into why we needed more applicable math, human rights lessons, the law, and Indigenous studies. Let's get back into that conversation now.
I know it's not like a necessary need to know sort of thing or we should have learned in school thing, but given that the situation's going on right now, all the politics and such, I think it is something to keep in mind to have more knowledge of, and the fact that they're actually going to teach it in school now is a good thing.
Yeah.
Sort of like a civics class.
Kinda.
Yeah, we had civics, but it was an elective, so I didn't take it, and I really regret that.
I don't think we had that at my school.
Or maybe they would have called it differently. Because I had in grade 8 humanities,
Yep.
but then they split it into English and social studies, grade 9 onwards.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the civics fell under the humanities kind of idea.
Yeah, maybe.
We had humanities in my school too for grade 8, and I found it very frustrating having two courses in one class where it really depended on the teacher how much of each course you got. I would have much rather had them split into two courses.
Yeah.
One of my favorite teachers in high school taught humanities. Technically, at the end of that grade 8 year, he had retired, but he came back as semi-retired, so he was teaching part-time, but I never actually had him as a teacher for the rest of those years when he would pop back as a sub or part-time teacher. Like, he would teach one of the English classes, but it was always on a day when I didn't have that class, so it sucked. I liked having him as a teacher. He was funny. He had an interesting personality. But yeah, I wish I was able to actually have him as a teacher again during my time there.
I think like my favorite teachers were always the ones who knew how to teach the same subject multiple different ways and keep kids engaged. Because like I had in grade 4, I had a teacher who, when we were doing our reading assignments, she would every once in a while she'd photocopy pages from the book and split us into groups and get us to one group would act out each page from the chapter, which was really cool. And then there was one teacher I had in high school, I think it was social studies. He would every few days he would push the desks to the side and he would quiz us on the subject that we were learning about. And if you got the answer right, you got to go take a shot on a hockey net. And if you got it in, you got your name put in for like a prize draw or something at the end of the week. Like it really kept the kids in my class really engaged, and it was really
Sounds
cool.
like fun.
Right? So yeah, I think it's cool when teachers have like different ways of teaching things that aren't just like standing at the front of the classroom and talking at you.
Yeah.
I recall, I think there was during one of the rotations, I had social studies in the mornings, like what be like the first course during that particular rotation. And we would start with listening at like current events and such, but also because I don't know, maybe it's just teenagers and the common conception of not being fully awake in the morning. I admittedly did fall asleep in class a couple of times just from just dozing off. It's like trying to pay attention and just being tired.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the teacher was good natured and teased a little, but it was like not bad.
That does it for this episode of The Pulse. Join us next time when we dive a little deeper into the missing elements of the school curriculum. As always, if you have topics or ideas you'd like us to discuss, or if you want to be a guest on the show, send an email to VOA, that's VOA, at pacificautismfamily.com. We look forward to more of your great questions. Thanks for listening.